What's that smell?
I don't know about you, but I'm thirsty as fuck. Thirsty as fuck.
Hey, look at me!
Thrill me.
If you come back in here, I'm gonna hit you with so many rights, you're gonna beg for a left.
Thrill me.
Beg for a left.
Thrill me.
Hey, look at me!
No one! Hang on!
It stinks.
Hang on!
Get to the chopper!
Sticker madness.
Hello and welcome to Vietnam. Good morning.
No.
Welcome to Sticker Madness. It's a podcast where we talk about bad movies. We are bad movie lovers, and you are a bad movie lover, I hope. Otherwise, you're listening to the wrong show.
Or you just like my face. So you're listening to it.
Okay, so you've already made bad decisions, dear listener.
Yeah.
You started up your day by putting your pants on backwards, and now you're imagining what Sam's face looks like while you hear his voice.
Well, you hear what it sounds like.
Is it a handsome face that they imagine, or
This is the sound of my face. It doesn't have to have a. I could just be an ominous face voice.
Welcome to the show on Sam's Pie Hole.
right? I'm your host, Justin. With me are always Sam and Jackie. This is our part 2 episode of our year in review, year 5 of podcasting, where we recount our favorite movies that we watched in the previous year of the show. This episode, we will be counting down numbers 4 through 1. And then we will also discuss our favorite movies of 2018. So let's get back into the list. If you missed the bottom half, make sure to go back to listen to last week's episode where we covered those. Continuing with a previous number that we talked about from last week, I put Howling 2, Your Sister's a Werewolf, much higher than you did.
Yeah.
I fucking loved that. And here's my thing. Again, I have these genres of shitty movies that hit all the right buttons for me for some reason, and werewolf movies are one of them. I fucking love werewolf movies. Like, all of them. I kind of like werewolves, and I don't know really why, because I don't like...
Except Teen Wolves.
I don't like Teen Wolves, because they're not werewolves. They're
stupid.
hairy people. They're the fur boy, the dog boy at the circus. That's all they are.
Not even that.
They're not even that. They're just hairy sports players. I don't like that.
No.
I like werewolves that, like, the moon comes out and they stalk prey at night and eat them with their big teeth. I like werewolves because they're stupid. They're really dumb. Right? I think they're pretty stupid, or are werewolves cool? I think they're stupid.
I think they're stupid, but I don't like them because I think they're stupid.
Okay.
I don't like werewolf movies.
Really?
And that's why when Howling even makes my list, it's like, good job, because you're, playing the sort of game I don't even like to watch, and I liked it this much. I mean, it was a good time, and Wolf with Nicholson is awful. I mean, it's just
He's
bad.
a peeping Tom.
I like Silver Bullet has some really stupid, dumb, fun moments, but I'm not a fan. American Werewolf in Paris is okay. I'm not. That's a Landis one, right?
Yeah.
American Werewolf in London was one of the most awful things I've ever seen.
It's terrible.
The Underworld movies just blow ass. I don't like any of them.
Hey, I watched the first one last night.
Underworld?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
The guy's a dumbass. The super being is a dumbass.
Yeah, he's like a derper.
He's a dumbass.
He's a derper.
Werewolves are typically dumbasses.
And, like, Kate Beckinsale's butt in leather can't save it for me. And that's rough. That's how much I hate werewolves.
Man, I like werewolves.
Okay.
Because I think that they're stupid. Because, like, the mythos behind werewolf, like, you're a dog person? I mean, like, that's not really scary. I mean, wolves are bad. Wolves are bad. They eat people. They eat farm animals, and they're fucking up northern Idaho, I guess. Maybe some Montana. Like, timber wolves are kind of a problem.
Yeah.
Are they a problem?
They'll eat your children. But, like, dire wolves are cool, but that's about it. Like, wolves don't really... Like,
what about the wolves from, or the werewolves from the Twilight series?
No, I don't like them. I'm getting to a point. if I was to anthropomorphize an animal that I could become, I'm not going to choose a wolf.
No.
Like, I'm going to go with, like, a unicorn.
So,
Or, like...
A unicorn?
Yeah, I mean, dude, werewolves don't exist, Jackie, so I can pull whatever I want. Or a fucking dragon. Or even, like, in reality, I'm probably going to choose, like, a cheetah. Or a bird. But, like, wolves just wander around and poop in the woods.
they don't.
That's not really something I want to be.
And you have to add to, like, with the vampire, it's like, well, they're really hard to kill.
Mm-hmm. Vampires have many superpowers.
They have many superpowers. Werewolves are just
seductive,
dog people.
Usually rich guys, because they live forever and they accumulate a bunch of skills. They're like the Count of Saint Germain or what's his name? The cool guy, Kevin Pollock. Kevin Pollock. Yeah, the Count of Saint Germain. Vampires are cool. I mean,
they have superpowers.
They have superpowers. Like in a real world existence, like vampires are going to rule the world. But werewolves just
dog people.
They hump legs.
Yeah, they don't. You have to add superpowers to them to bring them up to a certain level in the movie. And so if it's just a werewolf, it's like, neat. So once a month you turn into something that would still get your ass totally kicked by a bear.
That eats other werewolves' poo. Like, I don't want to be a dog.
No.
I mean, I'm sure that they all seem to be very happy, but dude, they hump and eat poo. So that's why I like werewolves.
Because it's dumb.
And because it's dumb. And Howling 2 is basically the pinnacle of stupid werewolves.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
it's as dumb as you can get.
And there's a guy in there that's dumber than the werewolves. And he's pissed inadvertently for whatever reason.
Let me tell you something.
Okay.
Vampires are going to rule this world. And they're rich because of one simple factor.
Oh, okay. Why?
No grocery bill.
Right.
And they never have to turn their heat.
Right.
So it's not like they need air conditioning or anything.
No, they've got good things that I would seek after. Like, you get those
being able to see in the dark.
What are those guys in Blade that, like the Steven, there's not Steven Dorff, but there's the guy who's like, so are you going to bite me today, Steven Dorff? No, you don't deserve to be one of us. You're a dipshit. There's guys that want to be churned. Like,
you got like vampire groupies.
Vampire groupies. Werewolves don't have fucking groupies.
No, the werewolves in the shared
eat their
worlds
groupies.
Right.
are usually vampire groupies.
Right. Yeah, no, werewolves are stupid, and Howling 2 is stupid, and I love it. It's got everything for me. That's for me, is Howling 2. You want to make a movie that gives me what I want, make that movie.
Uh-huh.
Sam, you're number 4.
Return of Swamp Thing.
Return of Swamp Thing, Jim Wynorski again.
Jim Wynorski again. And even though I put it ahead of my favorite Wynorski movie, it's because I've seen that one so many times.
Mm-hmm.
I had seen Return of Swamp Thing before.
Right.
And a combination of it being just as much as I liked it when I was a kid on the revisit.
Right.
And it blowing the fuck out of the other Swamp Thing movie. Like, the other Swamp Thing is not that fun.
It's a bad movie.
It's a bad movie.
It is like Wes Craven had a job after that. What? How? What?
See, and I really liked the gas station attendant, that little kid.
That's in Swamp Thing 1.
Oh, I thought that was in the second one.
No.
Oh, no.
Swamp
I've
Thing,
misspoken.
Swamp Thing 2 has the kids in the trailer park that are getting the porn.
Yeah, right. Those two precocious scams.
Yes, okay.
They're way more fun than the gas station kid.
Right.
They are more fun than the gas station kid.
I disagree with you. I think that Swamp Thing 1 is a lot of fun because of how bad it is, and it's shockingly bad. It's surprisingly bad.
It's very bad.
And that's kind of why I like it. And so I didn't expect Return of Swamp Thing to be better. Like, because Swamp Thing has a following. Like, it's a well-known, declared bad movie. People talk about it all the time, but Return of Swamp Thing is, again, kind of low on the radar of the Jim Wynorski movies. Nobody's talking about it, and it may be his best movie.
Oh yeah, it's the costume itself is exponentially better than the guy in the rubber suit.
Right.
It genuinely funny.
Funny. Sarah Douglas, always great.
Yeah.
Love Sarah Douglas. Monique Gabriel, as you were. And Heather Locklear, being the worst actress that I could possibly imagine.
And nailing it.
And being... You think she's nailing it?
She's nailing terrible.
She's nailing terrible, definitely.
Yeah.
But is she trying to be terrible?
I think every once in a while when I'm watching these Wynorski movies, I think he's making him act as dumb as they possibly can.
Maybe?
And he's doing a good job getting him there, and then they get the rest of the way there themselves. I think she's trying to be this stupid, and she's doing a good job.
She's as bad as they're eating her, and they're going to eat me?
She's like, I think what he's wanting is that, like, I'd deliver this line if I didn't want to go to Macy's right now. That's what he's like, I want you to go for that, and she's getting there.
She's getting there. She's terrible, and if it's good terrible, then congratulations, you've killed it, because you are
she's
terrible.
killing it, because she's not that bad. I've
She's
seen TJ
pretty-
Hooker.
she's
I've seen
pretty
TJ
bad.
Hooker. She's not that bad.
No, Return to Swamp Thing was a huge surprise to me. And the fact that the villain is the same without any explanation about, dude, you die.
Yeah,
you got turned into a pig guy and die. But now you're just okay.
Kind of, but I guess he's got like something that he has to do, otherwise he'll turn back into a pig guy.
No,
maybe.
I thought he just wanted to be immortal by stealing souls.
Oh,
And the
I
soul
couldn't tell.
any movie where you've got a soul transferring machine, I like.
Yeah.
Because you're going to have that bad painted animation special effects of souls sucking.
Yeah.
Like I go for painted animation effects that are bad every time. I'm a sucker for it.
And that he's got all this science. He's the bad guy from should be the worst bad guy in the Swamp Thing universe.
Uh-huh.
And in this movie, Swamp Thing finds him to be a minor nuisance.
Return to Swamp Thing is fantastic. Stop what you're doing. Go watch Return to Swamp Thing. Jackie, number 4.
Retro Puppet Master.
Retro Puppet Master, the Greg Sestero masterpiece.
I haven't
as it
seen
were.
this one.
Yeah.
It's when the puppet master is a young man and
Yeah,
he's living in
too
Germany.
Yeah. He's too long.
Too long.
That's Greg Sestero's character. He's young, too long.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, you know, we get to see how these puppets start, you know, where the original puppets came from, right?
Right.
And it's just kind of nice to see the puppets come to life. And he saved all of his friends, and then they're little fucking monsters that kill people.
Right.
And I love it.
Too Long is a jerk.
Uh-huh.
You can't just die if you care about Too Long. Like, if you're his bro and you're hanging out and you're like, dude, you want to go get some drinks one night? Yeah, let's meet up. And then, like, some mummies come and kill you? Too Long's going to be like, I need you in my life. So now you have to live inside of this little doll, and you don't even get to be you anymore. You get to be the little doll. Like, now you're a vicious murderer of people.
Uh-huh. Or it's like, well, I saved you. You can live as long as this doll lives, maybe thousands or hundreds or 10 years, whatever, right?
Right.
And they make it a while, and they're like, I'm bored as fuck. I'm going to just murder the shit out of people now, just for amusement.
Well, that could be one path, but they start murdering people, like, the next day.
You can't, yeah, well, why not?
I mean, you're trapped inside of a little wooden shitty thing.
Yeah.
Like, I'm never going to feel the touch of another human being's hand on my face. I'm not going to be able to pet a dog.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be able
Yes,
to
you could.
enjoy driving a car. I'm stuck in this little fucking wooden thing.
So I'm going to...
Thanks, Too Long.
Yep, so I'm going to kill this person by cutting them open butt first.
My wife is now a leech puker. She's
Yeah.
got leeches living inside of her that she pukes out. That sucks. You're a jerk, Too Long.
Mm-hmm.
Just let me die in peace. You selfish prick.
Greg Sestero.
Yep.
Now, Jackie, you like the Puppet Master movies.
I
in
do.
general. And I don't. There's just something weird about them. This tone, this feeling. Probably the Charles Band soundtrack does it for me. That it's not for me.
That's the thing that I like, is that the soul of the Puppet Master movies is this, like, kind of lollygagging, drawn out, feeling, looking, sounding Charles Band thing that you're like, I don't care for it. I'm like, this is the only charm for these movies for me. This is what I like about them.
Yeah. It's a you're either for or against that feeling, and I'm on the other side of the fence.
See, and I just like puppets that kill people.
Oh.
Okay. All right.
I think it's creepy. I like that they have independent thought. So it's not like he's like, all right, puppet, you are now alive. Go kill Sam.
Yeah, he's not actually the puppet master. He's
the puppet keeper.
the puppet keeper.
Right. Because essentially he's just there to fix their broken parts and shit, right? But
right.
the puppets all think for themselves. And I think that is a endearing part of the story for me, because if the puppet gets pissed, he's just going to go fucking kill that guy.
Right.
And, it's not like they're going to put him in puppet jail. Nobody believes that a puppet's going to kill somebody. If I had a little puppet friend, do you know how many people would be dead around me?
You would be hired by the government.
Yeah, a little puppet killer.
Yeah, the puppets would be assassins immediately. Like
Yeah.
you would. It's probably
Yeah, that'd go well.
It's
Like,
not going to go
send
well.
in the puppets. Oh, look, somebody picked one up and lit it on fire. Yep, that one didn't last very long.
Damn it!
Oh, that one got hucked into the ocean, and now it's inside of a shark.
Again, the CIA tried to make a spy out of a kitty cat, Sam, and it got ran over. They're not good at what they're doing.
I would take a cat versus any one of these puppets. if I'm gambling on weird fights.
What about a puppet that's got a head drill? I mean, that seems like you
It's
could
just not
take
fast.
down Manuel Noriega with, right?
Yeah, or a cat. Like the cat's just too fast.
Cat's going to get in there, one strick of the blade, and then out.
Because it's stop motion animation, the puppets do not move fast.
No.
They're not fast movers.
Uh-uh.
They move pretty slow.
Yeah, it's an agonizing death being killed by one of these puppets because it takes so goddamn long.
Dude, would you just get it over with? You have 6 gun hands. Just shoot me. And he's busy smiling at you. Oh my God, get it over with.
Gonna drill a hole in you and you start it at your hip. Like,
Ow.
oh my God, this is
Ow.
gonna hurt for 18.
Ow.
I'm gonna be here for 90 minutes dying.
Ow.
Jesus.
Man, you're very pokey. Ow.
Yeah. Stop
Well, if he got
it.
him in the back of the ankle where the tendon is and a
Ow.
major source of blood supply, you'd die out pretty fast.
They're little tiny knives, Jackie. Like, you could
You don't need a big one to hit an artery.
I guess, but at the same time, you could just punt these little things. You could just punt them.
Like roll over on a drill mill. What's that? Okay, you just got thrown out the window.
Oh!
Uh-oh, looks like Sparky's got a hold of him now.
I understand the attraction of the puppet masters. There's that feeling doesn't work for me.
Yeah.
But Jackie, you do like them.
I do.
And I would argue that out of all of them, Retro Puppet Master is probably the most banana business.
That's fun.
Number 3 for me, a controversial call, you might say. But I watched it by myself. This is one of my favorite movies of all time, if not in the top 3 favorite movies of all time. Rumble in the fucking Bronx. I fucking love that movie.
It's a really good movie.
It's not. It's a really bad movie.
I can't. I always argue with you because of how much gets changed in the translation of the overdubbed version.
I can't overstate that some of the things, whether they're translation errors, they still take place on screen. And you're pulling a Giuliani with me right here. Don't believe your eyes. That's not what that.
No,
it's a bad movie, Sam, but it's fucking amazing. It is such a masterpiece of everything that Jackie is. Charismatic, fun, enjoyable. You like him. He's the most likable person on the planet and supremely talented and impervious to damage. The guy gets hit by a fucking hovercraft.
And I guess why I can't, even if with translation bad or whatever, I just can't have it as bad because genre, right?
Yeah.
It's one of the best kung fu movies ever made.
It's one of the best kung fu movies ever made.
Can it be bad if it's one of the best, if it's what it's trying to do?
Thoroughly stupid throughout.
The comedy is silly.
It's not just that. It's the plot is Jackie moves to the Americas, the Bronx, as it were, and becomes the bodyguard of a convenience store that's in the hottest crime part of town because of motorcycle thugs who have motorcycle races, and that's their key to being a bad guy. But then there's a bag of diamonds that end up in a child's wheelchair. So therefore, the fake FBI has to then take down the crime gang. So Jackie's got to team up with the motorcycle gang to take down this guy who likes golf, and ends up with the government saying, you know what, Jackie? Go ahead and run over the bad guy with a hovercraft.
Yeah.
You know what? We're going to allow you, Mr. Civilian, to take over the hovercraft that tried to kill you and just run over a guy that's golfing.
I mean, Mangold wrote it, right? It's the same guy from Copland.
I'm going to admit, I've never seen this.
Yeah.
You haven't, and
What?
it's a mistake on your part. And I think that we will be doing an episode on Rumble in the Bronx. But, I mean, my top list, it starts with Joe versus the Volcano and will end with Joe versus the Volcano for the rest of time. But that number 2 spot is highly contested between the Fellowship of the Ring and Rumble in the Bronx. And every time I see one or the other, I'm like, nope, it's this one. It's this one.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, Fellowship of the Ring is one of the greatest movies that's ever been, a masterpiece of filmmaking, whereas Rumble in the Bronx is a masterpiece of kung fu. But as far as my personal favorites, I just can't decide. I mean, it's so fucking good, and one of my favorite childhood movies that I've ever seen, and I've probably seen it. If you've seen Dune 30 times, I've seen Rumble in the Bronx 31 times.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, when the first time I saw it, it was like I went to Blockbuster, picked it up right when we got it stateside, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
And I watched it 5 fucking times before I brought it back to Blockbuster.
Right.
It was like everything should be everything was Rumble in the Bronx for like a month and a half.
And again, don't get me wrong, I don't think it's Jackie Chan's best movie, but it's my favorite Jackie Chan movie. And it's one of my favorite movies of all time, without a fucking doubt.
And it's not my favorite Jackie Chan anymore because we all have our own buttons, and Project A pushes my buttons.
Project A is pretty goddamn good.
Project A just makes me happy. Like, I'm happy just thinking about that movie exists right now.
See, that's how I feel about Rumble in the Bronx.
Yeah.
I'm happy. It gives me true joy, like biblical joy.
Yes.
Like, that is my. If I had to put on a suit and tie and go to church every day, that's the movie that I'm like. We'll have the sermon about the quality of Jackie Chan's ability to jump through a shopping cart while it's moving.
So why did Jackie jump through the ladder? It's not just because the ladder was there and there's men that he's fighting on the other side of it. It's a metaphor for how we negotiate life.
The Church of Chan.
I could do it.
Yep, I'd go every Sunday. Number 3, Sam.
This is where Hawkeye lands for me.
Wow, number 3, Hawkeye.
I just couldn't. It was mesmerizing how dumb and at the same time how, like, intentional bullshit got stuffed into one canister. And I couldn't believe this thing when I saw it. I was just like, what is this exists?
Right.
It is mind-boggling that it even got made.
Indeed. And it's a passion project.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's a vanity piece gone awry. It's delivered exactly how it's intended to.
And that versus these vanity pieces gone awry, like, he could actually go for a vanity piece because he's pretty in shape and not a bad-looking guy, right? But he didn't really do that. What he did is he had macho go awry.
He had macho
and this
go
is
awry.
like macho goes all the way wrong is the best, like, to put this into one sentence. That's the way I would describe Hawkeye.
That's a good way of putting it. I can get behind that. Macho goes awry.
Since we previously discussed it last week, I think we kind of flushed out everything with Hawkeye. Butt shots, kicks.
Again, I would say stop what
Texas.
you're doing. Go watch that if you haven't seen it. Hawkeye is it could be in People's Hall of Fame. It really could.
It could. It's something else. It's special.
It is a special movie. Jackie, number 3.
Oh, you guys are going to hate me.
Oh, good.
The Nun.
What?
I loved this movie.
I don't think you did.
I've watched it like 2 or 3 times since we first talked about it.
Okay, so maybe on a revisit, it kind of got you. But the first time when we talked about it on the episode, you were bored with it.
It just didn't even make the smab fuzz.
Right.
Yeah.
But Revisit apparently bumped
I
it up.
revisited it
Okay.
a couple of times, and I'm hooked on it now.
Okay.
I think it's just so much fun. And
Why? Why?
Well,
Where do you get
first of
that?
all, I like Diamond Beecher.
Okay.
Beecher. He's the father, the priest guy with the
right.
black hair,
The
Spanish
guy
priest.
that sucks and gets knocked over and then stands up and leaves. That's what he does the whole movie.
Pretty much.
Hey, he got trapped in a coffin
Yeah.
with
he
a
did.
bell.
Yeah.
That was pretty scary.
No.
And then there's like towny guy that pants don't stay up,
Right.
and then the sister of the lady that's in the other bad horror movies.
Yep.
So Bonnie Aarons, who
Okay.
is the scary nun,
Okay.
Oh,
I'm looking at a picture of her right now.
Uh-huh.
She looks like a scary witch
Okay.
in real life.
All right.
And like her nose and everything is that narrow.
oh my!
All right.
And I just thought she did a bang up job with like really getting her mouth open wide and
No,
Opening her mouth is now qualifying as acting.
hey, they had to fit her with some prosthetic teeth to make them all sharp and gross.
That's not acting.
Holy shit, Reb! You're going for the Oscar.
Great fucking Reb Brown is like, the fuck.
The
The
fuck.
fuck. Right? Guys.
I was imagining the boobies, and I was 20 years ahead of my time.
Reb Brown, the Van Gogh of acting. Cut off my goddamn ear because the nun is. People like that shit.
Yeah.
Come on.
I love it. I think it's fun.
I think it's
at the
tedious.
end is the fight scene where she's flying all over the place and the village idiot guy is trying to save the innocent nun and all the spooky cat jumping out of the closet type of stuff that happens.
Hate.
They find a dead body with their food, where they keep their food in the storage unit and stuff. I don't know. It had all of the classic horror.
The
Tick marks for me.
13-year-old classic.
Yeah,
The
and I like it.
PG-13 horror.
Yeah.
This thing it has every one of those check the boxes for a PG-13 horror.
Yep.
It did all of it.
It certainly does. And
Yeah.
I hate every single one of those check boxes. It's tedious to me. And tedium in a film is unforgivable for me. There's nothing that anybody can do to redeem it if it's tedious. If it's a chore to watch a fucking movie, go eat shit, the nun.
Well, I didn't think it was tedious, and like I said, upon revisiting it, you really do get into the bad acting. You kind of get away from the story.
Aside from it being tedious for me, it is a bad movie.
It is bad.
It's got bad acting, continuity errors out the ass. Nothing lines up. Nothing works together. The script is garbage.
Its climactic action scene has a bad cut that's so bad that it loses continuity in its payout.
Right. That's as bad as you can do. That you did a bad cut on the climax.
Yeah. Well,
That's what we showed up for.
You're like, wait a second, he's there now? Like, you just kicked me out of the story world of this with that cut. Nice job.
Yeah, that's the penultimate failure you can do.
Yeah.
Is that.
I think it's terribly entertaining. I liked it.
Sure.
It is your buttons
Yeah.
that you enjoy, and I don't like any of those buttons.
And sort of like a side thing on The Nun because it's these action priests.
Right.
Movies with action priests. Because the action priests can't actually do action.
Unless you're a Shaolin monk.
Yeah, those are Shaolin monks. That's totally different.
They're priests.
Catholic action priests don't ever get to do anything. It's like, so these movies are based on this idea like, well, we've got word at the top coming down from the Vatican. We've got to send in one of our men to go there and hope for the best.
Right.
Because he can't fight. He's not allowed, I guess, or what? Like, what can he do when he gets there?
Well,
Get back to them?
when we found you, you were fighting motorcycle gangs in the Bronx and running guys over with the hovercraft, but we brought you into the family.
Yeah.
So now we have to send you out to do action. That's not how priests work.
No. But the thing is that they didn't find him fighting or whatever his...
No, that's what I'm saying. That's not how priests work. That has never happened in the history of priesthood where it was like, we came to you when you were living with Jenny on top of the mountain, and we recruited you into the priesthood,
Yeah.
so you redeemed yourself for tearing ears off of people and making a necklace out of them as you ate their flesh and covered in blood.
So what you're saying is that this nun movie was really realistic because the priest keeps getting pushed over because we know that
He
he's
gets
not
his
going to
ass
fight.
whipped a lot.
Yeah, he can't fight back, and then none of them can, right?
Right.
They're always like, okay, we've sent somebody. Why did you do that? Because all he's going to be able to do is like call you back on the phone and go, yep, turns out they were right. This is a bad situation. I am a priest. I am completely ill-equipped to deal with the situation.
Their most actiony thing that they can do is chuck water at spooky ghosts, basically.
The power of Christ compels you.
That's all they can do. That's
then
the
when
most
that
actiony.
doesn't-
And yell at demons. They can yell at demons.
Yeah.
But that's about it.
He doesn't do anything. They don't ever do anything. The only action priest is in that goddamn Dan Brown bullshit. The fucking Da Vinci Code, and he's evil.
Right.
He's not an action priest. He's a fucking murderer.
Right. Nope. These guys aren't qualified to take on the nun, guys. You might need something else.
Yeah, you got to bring in some townie that's half drunk and he's got a shotgun that barely works and he can't even point it in the right direction.
Woof. Number 2 for me, Return of Swamp Thing.
Nice.
Yeah, I fucking loved it. And there's just one reason why it didn't get number 1, because it's close enough to be number 1 that it could have been, but something else is in that spot. It's, again, not just the surprise factor that it's not his number 1 movie. It's that it's now my number 1 Wynorski movie. It's cleared so many other movies as far as it being awesome that it is now holding a very, very prestiged location as my favorite Jim Wynorski movie. That's it. Dude, Return of Swamp Thing.
It's awesome.
It's fucking awesome. It has got every bad movie checklist that can be had as far as an enjoyable popcorn eating stuffing giggle fest that you can also lampoon while you're watching it, and everything that takes place in front of the camera is well prepared and delivered and looks good and cheesy at the same time. It's just like it's like the Mona Lisa of cheese.
Oh, yeah. Swamp Thing gives thumbs up to kids, and when you're a kid and you watch it, you're like, oh, Swamp Thing's awesome. And then as I'm revisiting it, I kind of forgot that, and I'm an adult going, Swamp Thing's awesome.
Swamp Thing's fucking awesome.
Like, Reb Brown actually wants to be Swamp Thing. Is
Right.
what he's been going for his whole life.
Exactly.
And,
kind of surprised he wasn't Swamp Thing.
Swamp Thing. He was, the guy that did Swamp Thing, though, he knocked it out of the park.
Reb, we want you to be Swamp Thing. I can't. I've committed to Captain America, so...
I'm going to do better than the other guy. Actually, that guy was after him, and boy, Peyton Manning didn't do good at
was
all.
not a good Captain America. Sam, you're number 2.
My number 2 is this. Even though it was sort of the surprise of my year, and we ended up having to like immediately do an episode on it afterwards, there was one ahead of it, strangely. But American Hunter.
American Hunter
is
with
my
Chris
number
Mitchum.
2 with Chris Mitchum.
Yeah.
It was out, like, I watched it, and it hit me in the face. I was like, whoa, this thing is dumb.
It's super dumb.
And the
he
action,
is super terrible.
It's like it's like the Star Wars kid got his own action movie.
Yeah, a lot like that.
Like, he has the martial arts, I guess. I can't say it without laughing. He does martial arts. He does, I guess.
Chris Mitchum might be the worst cast that's ever been made. Like, let's throw Reb Brown a compliment here.
He's not.
I look at the two. I'm probably taking Reb Brown.
I'll take Reb Brown
'cause
this
he's
week.
big.
He's big.
Chris Mitchum sucks. There's not one good thing about him. Like if I'm fucking what's his name? The MGM guy. What's his goddamn name? Mayor Roger Mayer, I think his name. That's not it at all.
John Mayer.
John Mayer. Yeah. if I'm again sitting in my third story office at the studio lot and in comes my favorite casting guy and he brings in it's Robert Mitchum's son. You should, dude, everybody loves Robert Mitchum. Check out this Chris Mitchum guy. I'd be like, get the fuck out of here.
That's what
Don't
happened.
ever bring in another guy ever. You're done. You'll never work in this town again.
And then he goes to the Philippines and they make this movie. Holy God. And then there's it tries to do all of the action guy things. He's got shirtless sequences,
Right.
and you're like,
Love the ladies love
Yeah.
him. They flock to him, even though he's a piece of shit to them.
And nobody would actually flock to this man.
No, he's a gargoyle.
his when he's got his tapered leg jeans on, and he's going shirtless, you're like, watch out! Here comes the science teacher.
Right. But the film tells you,
He's
and
actually
subsequent Chris Mitchum films, that it's that line from Austin Powers: "Men want to be him, and women want to be with him."
Yes.
That's everything that film tells you is that this guy's the greatest. He's the greatest. He's the GOAT.
Yeah.
And he sucks.
And when you're watching it the first time, you're getting into it. You got no idea. You have no idea what to expect with this thing.
Right.
And you see this guy that you're like, okay, when are they? You don't expect him to be in the movie very long because you just see him like, okay, he's not going to. Obviously, this is not the action lead.
Mm-hmm.
And then-
It's just some Filipino movie got Robert Mitchum's son. So,
Yeah.
that's how they're going to package and sell this.
Yeah, sure. And he's having some whatever meeting and discussion with some guy that is going nowhere, and all of a sudden the guy pulls a gun on him.
Right.
And then he does a backflip kick off of the office door.
Uh-huh.
And you're like, what? It is out of nowhere
He
the
pulls
dumbest.
a fucking Neo.
It's a.
You gotta be jacked into the fucking Matrix to do shit like that.
And if
Chris.
you were, you wouldn't do that.
You definitely wouldn't do that. But to even do it, I mean, I think he dodges bullets by doing a door backflip.
But he has to go farther away from the guy he's kicking,
right,
to do this maneuver where he could just kick the gun,
right.
Which
the
is
old
what
roundhouse
happens.
jobber.
Or anything, right? But instead, he runs away from him, does a backflip off of the door, and then ends up going back over and kicking him while in air.
And I still believe, I believe that the gun fires, and I think he dodges that fucking
Yeah, I
bullet.
think he jumps over the bullet. That's part of the backflip off the door. And then it just gets worse.
It just gets worse. They murder townies.
Yeah.
Because of a dispute about some bananas.
I can't even remember what they're hunting, and he's not. I guess he's an American hunter. That's what the movie's called.
He's hunting his girlfriend because she just keeps getting nabbed over and over and over and over. We called that episode Cindy's Worst Day.
Yeah,
because,
it was.
And she marries this fucking guy who destroys her life,
Completely destroys it.
ruins every aspect of her existence. And she's like, I love you because you're handsome.
Yeah. Do you teach science?
Marry me. Cindy, your life just got worse. You went from the worst day of your life to every day being that day now.
Yeah, I guess it.
In 5 years, he's just going to get tired of saving her ass. And he's going to be like, you know what? I'm
Oh,
good.
I think he thrives on
Tired
it.
of saving her ass. He's the reason that she's in any of these messes to begin with.
I think he enjoys it. Like, Chris Mitchum's character is such a fucking awful piece of shit in this movie.
Yeah.
He's got like franchises of families, Jackie. He's got ladies all over Southeast Asia that he just, I've got to go to a conference. And then he goes to his other family and has to rescue them and be awful to them. That's his milieu. That's what he's signed up for. He's a butthole.
He's a butthole.
American Hunter was on the outside looking in for me.
Yeah, and he basically goes on one of the great murder sprees of all time.
Mm-hmm.
And then the cops pull up at the end, and he's on this motorcycle, and he's like, "Oh yeah, that was revenge." And they're like, "Oh, totally legal."
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
revenge.
All
Revenge
right.
is a reason that you could. No, there's no self-defense possibly, but revenge is not legally condoning murder.
cool. All right. Well, I'm glad you let us know. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon,
Yeah.
sir.
What?
It's like stopping and asking a cop for directions.
Yeah.
Is how he treats the fact that he just murdered 60 guys.
Yeah, like revenge. Okay, bye.
Go up, be on your way. Be safe. Make sure to buckle up.
Yeah.
Jackie, number 2.
Life itself.
Whoa! Okay. A potential SMAP contender and a mass declared worst movie of the year by many critics.
Yeah, I don't get that, but yeah, there was Rolling Stone had it worst, a couple other ones, and I was like, yeah, but no.
Yeah, but no.
Yeah, it was not the worst movie that I saw all year.
Okay, so why is it number 2 on your favorite bad movies of the year list?
I like the storyline. I like the progression of it. The redeeming at the end. I like those kind of stories. They give me...
Your favorite movie of all time is that stupid Christmas movie with Keira Knightley and
my favorite movie of
Hugh
all
Grant.
time is Somewhere in Time, and that is a
Okay.
tragedy.
Well, your other favorite movie is that fucking stupid, terrible, worst Christmas movie ever. Because it's that.
Love Actually.
Love Actually. It's the same thing.
Yeah, and
disconjointed storytelling told from different perspectives, all about the same thing.
Right. And it grabbed my attention, and I think about it, and I would watch it again. It's just one of those movies that I felt captured something in life, and don't get me wrong, it was very disjointed, and Antonio Banderas was kind of weird in it, but I liked it.
The Oscar Isaac scenes didn't work at all.
Some of the script
Yeah.
did not work at all. I personally thought that Oscar Isaac's character and Olivia Munn's character, or Olivia Wilde,
Wilde.
were unlikable people. I did not like
Yeah,
them.
they weren't unlikable, but it was like you were supposed to be in love with them, and it didn't happen.
I was unlikable to
Okay.
them, but you were supposed to like them. They're supposed to be, wow, what a charming, great couple. Like, man, these people belong together. I hope happiness finds them. It doesn't. But instead, my feeling was, I fucking hate these people. They're awful people. Fuck them.
And the one thing I really did not like about this movie is that there were times when they would show the scene from a different perspective, and then they have this one person who's narrating it, and they're showing the exact same thing, but now it's not a happy scene.
See, I think it's funny that you have a list of your favorite movies of the year, and this is number 2, and there's things that you don't like about it. How do you put it at number 2 if there's things you don't like about it?
I like the story. The story, the overall story for me is what brought this on to number 2.
This is my second favorite movie.
And
It's
I like
not
it.
that great, but it's my second.
I like Antonio Banderas too.
Oh, of course. Everybody likes Antonio. He's too
Yeah,
sexy.
I thought he was gonna blow it, but then he didn't.
He didn't.
And it was like, yeah, he just can't. Unless you're in an action movie, then you can totally blow it.
I just think that this is a 5 out
Yeah.
of 10 star movie.
Absolutely.
It's just another contrived, fine movie.
The thing is,
Nothing
that
special about it.
I want to take beef with the people that wrote the reviews on it. It says, and there was like 3 of them specifically. I won't single anybody out, but they all kind of are on the same bandwagon. And they're like, every couple of years there's a movie that tells you everything about life that's completely wrong. And it's like, no, this didn't. This actually only made one small statement about life that wasn't wrong.
Right.
It made a bunch of statements about art that were completely wrong.
Right.
You fucking idiots missed the boat on why this was bad.
Our art critiques, and
Yeah.
you missed it.
And you're the same people that didn't realize that what you're accusing this of is the movie that you liked called Aloha 5 years
Right.
ago.
Go fuck yourself.
You go fuck yourself.
Peter Travelers from the USA Today.
Or whoever.
I'm pretty sure it was Peter Travelers from the USA Today.
Yeah, and there was like 3 or 4 other ones. They were all the same thing, like, this told you about life, and it's wrong. It's like, no, all it said about life was that ultimately your children are your legacy. It was like, one, whoop-de-doo. That's not the most breathtaking thing I've ever heard in my life.
Fucking blown.
My mind's not blown, but it's not wrong.
Right. It's not wrong.
I'm going to leave all of our worldly possessions to a dog, so I don't know. Kids may not be the legacy that everybody dreams of. Wonder if you have a
Jackie.
crackhead.
I think you just pulled a life itself right there, where
Yeah.
you were like, "This joke is gonna land,"
Yeah.
and Sam and I just blinked at you.
Okay, never mind. Anyway, I can't really put it in. I mean, I know that I should be able to verbalize better about why I liked this movie so much, But it's really just the feeling you get as you watch it progress.
It's that movie format. That is another one of your things. That those movies hit you, and I haven't seen any one of those movies. Crash is another one that everybody fucking blew. Crash. It didn't fucking win an Oscar.
Yeah, Crash won.
Yeah, I fucking hate that movie.
I don't think I've ever seen
Well,
Crash.
there's 2 Crashes that came out around the same time, so hopefully
The
you're
one
not
with Sandra Bullock.
Cronenberg's is the one that won Best Picture.
Yeah. Isn't that Sandra Bullock?
Don't remember if that's the one.
Okay. I just don't like every single time you do that where it's slice of life of a bunch of group of people and then you find out that they're all related at the end because of this fucking reveal is ho-hum as shit to fucking me. So the fuck what? I just hate slice of life in general. It's way not my bag.
You ordinary people can eat a dick.
Suck a dick, man. I want to see a guy with a sword fight an alien.
Yeah. Stick it in his butt. Do it.
All right. Are we ready to do this? The number ones?
Are we all saying it at the same time?
1, 2, 3, get no. That's not how audio works. My number 1 movie of the year should be no surprise. It's one of my. It's number 1 on the Hall of Fame bad movie list of all time. America fucking 3000.
Yeah.
I'm guessing that's your number 1 too, Sam.
No, because everybody knows that. We've talked about it too much for it to even be on the list.
Oh, so
I've seen America 3000 so much.
So it's not your list is the thing the most things I want to talk about on the previous year, not your favorite movies of the previous year.
It is. I do this all the time. You should get used to it. It's like it's the exception when there's something that's like so exceptional. It's like I can't even put this in the thing because it's too good. So it's like these are the other things that aren't America 3000. We already know that's my favorite movie. We did a whole episode on it. I talked about America 3000 for years before I even finally pulled the trigger on it.
Well, what if somebody didn't listen to that episode, Sam,
Sure.
and this was their opportunity for you to fill them in on why it's the greatest bad movie of all time? But I'm going to do that for you because you're an idiot.
No, I don't think that's not whatever.
America 3000 is not a thing. It's a thing with you and I, but it is not talked about in any circles because nobody fucking could be bothered with it. It's one of the best canon movies of all time. It's one of the most brilliant post-apocalyptic movies of all time. It's silly, it's cheesy, and it's just amazing. It ends on a screenshot of a monster holding a boombox doing a jump victory thing. A fucking still frame of that. Any film that ends on a still frame has already got my attention. Any film that ends with a still frame of somebody jumping in victory has got my attention. Anytime somebody's holding a boombox and doing it, got my attention. But it's a fucking monster that's doing it.
A swamp monster jump fist pump holding a boombox freeze frame credits.
Whose name is Arg.
It's an orangutan.
No, it's
He's
a
not
swamp
an orangutan.
monster.
He's a swamp monster named Arg that they keep in a fucking pen to fight people. He's awesome. Arg the Awful is arguably the greatest fucking bad movie character of all time.
I'm pretty sure that they stole. You watch Solo.
Mm-hmm.
That scene plays exactly the same. It's the same scene.
It is.
Somebody else liked this movie too, and it got put into Solo.
And his name may be Ron Howard.
Mom may be Ron Howard. That scene plays exactly like the ARG release scene.
It does.
It's the same scene.
Yeah. So let's say what is your favorite scene in America 3000, Sam?
Oh God, it changes every time I watch it.
The battle sequence with all the explosions.
Actually, the last 2 times I've seen it,
where many people may have died.
It was the last time we watched it. I was most hung up on the when he power bombs the lady through the coffee table.
That's amazing, fucking amazing.
I didn't like it as much this time. I think it's the explosions in the battle.
Yeah, which is crazy. They're massively big explosions. They're dangerous explosions.
Yeah, then there's the lady that does the double spread eagle kick on the dudes. That she lands both of them and probably isn't supposed to.
Right,
that's pretty awesome.
Pretty awesome.
It has that. The thing is that America 3000. What's your favorite part? How about I just give you a plot summary? Every second is my favorite
Right.
part.
The beginning, the middle, and the end?
The beginning, the middle, and the end. It's all hot plastic.
It's all hot plastic. None of it is neggy. Just stop listening to the show. Make sure you cannot be a fan of the show, honestly, and not have seen America 3000. It's that good. One of my favorite movies of all time.
Yeah.
Jackie, thoughts on America 3000?
Yeah.
No, okay. Yeah, we're going to skip you because you don't have good takes.
Well, I mean, what can I say? It blended in with the rest of them that we watched, and
No.
it wasn't enough to stand out for me. It
That's
didn't
not
make my list.
That's not what you said on the podcast, but
Yeah, but do I like it? Yeah. Yeah, I liked it. It was adventurous and it was fun, and I had a good time with it.
and extremely nostalgic about the 80s too.
Yes.
And ultimately, it has it's actually saying things.
Yeah, it
like,
also
what the
says
fuck?
fucking things. No, it's super important. One of the best bad movies in the world. Sam, number 1 from you.
Operation Pink Squad 2.
Oh my god! Operation Pink Squad. Wasn't there an alternative title for that?
Something House.
Yeah, like Hell House or
Hell
some shit
House.
like that. It's bananas.
I couldn't. Every 3 or 4 minutes, something that you would have never guessed. And it's not like, oh, you'd never guess this is going to happen. It's like, okay, what the fuck? They have a flying. Okay. Okay. So she's a zombie? No, she's a ghost.
I think you need to back up a little bit and just say one word: Japan. Our American take on Japan is probably very wrong, but what we all think about Japan is a bunch of weird shit. Those people are into weird shit.
Yeah.
I mean, they do put lettuce on ladies and then eat food off of them. They do have panty vending machines. They have a game called Concho where you jam your fingers into plastic buttholes. It's a video game. They're weird. They do weird things.
And this, to somebody who keeps an eye on all of their weirdness, goes, this is weird for you guys.
This is really weird, guys. I mean, this might be too far in the weirdness. And it's not. It's crazy.
So there's a team of female cops that is married, and their husbands think they're cheating on them, but they're not. They're just trying to go to work.
Right.
So they go on a stakeout, but they're staking out a ghost.
Right.
But the ghost isn't really a ghost. It's more of like a person who can't die.
Or a zombie.
No, because she's totally conscious and she can do magical spells.
Right.
She's like an undead wizard.
Yeah, an undead wizard is a good way of putting
Okay.
it. But then there's also zombie hordes, too,
There
Sam.
is, but this is an undead wizard, and they're on a stakeout for an undead wizard. And at one point, the undead wizard is just fucking with them for a while.
Right,
Not even
right,
really
just
like
being a total
battle.
dick.
It's like
Yeah.
just fucking with them.
And like playing this jealous husband thing.
Yeah.
Like, this guy thinks his wife's cheating on him, but I'm going to seduce him
Sure.
in an elevator so that for comedy.
Uh-huh.
It's an undead wizard.
Yeah, and then there's like a priest that they find, and he's like, oh, I know how to battle this with some magic beads.
Right.
And that doesn't really, I guess he kind of does later, but they cut the lady's wizard's head off, and it just starts flying around.
It just flies around.
What do you do at that point? Well, get out the police issue remote control helicopters and that have guns on them.
Right.
And you have to chase.
Standard issue.
There's a chase scene between a decapitated head and remote control helicopters in this movie. And then it gets weirder than that.
I'm just sitting over here with my mouth open like,
Oh, man, Jackie.
oh man, I
you
gotta
just-
watch this thing.
You miss it every time whenever Roman shows up and he's got a box full of imports from Japan. There's always one of these.
There's always one of the, and this one, why it's number one this year is because it's the big surprise is that I've put my hand in the box as Paul did.
Right.
Paul Atreides, and I've pulled many of these imports out. This thing is the weirdest I have ever seen, and that takes some fucking doing.
It's so super fucking weird. And like
They become magic wushu gods at the end.
The only thing I can think of is that you have to be on drugs to come up with this shit.
I don't even know if drugs can do this.
It's so beyond the realm of weird that you, the writer of this film, can think like this. Like, there's a degree of imagination, but then there's what would make you come up with that? What happened to you? Or what didn't happen to me? How do I get on where you are?
Chasing ahead with remote control. And then everyone has their own police issue remote control helicopter.
Standard operations.
Standard
Just
operation.
like the meteorologist get a Batmobile after you graduate.
Huh.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. It's far out, man.
Yeah, it's far out.
I can't argue with you on that one. That's a good fucking pick. Jackie, your number one movie of the year.
God, do I have to go?
Oh, are you like
Rampage.
Sam
Rampage. I'm not gonna.
I like the flying bat werewolf.
It's,
I like that the monkey flips people off.
yeah.
He's a giant gorilla. He's not a monkey.
I like that the giant gorilla plays jokes on Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Yep.
I mean,
and that they're besties.
yeah.
They are true, like Forrest Gump and Lieutenant Dan level of friendship that they have.
Yeah. And I mean, I liked that. I like the jokes, and I like the action in it. And who's that guy that played the cop? Javier
Bardem?
Yeah.
No.
Javier
Javier
Bardem
Yeah.
is not in it. It's the guy from Watchmen, the comedian.
Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
I really like him as an actor.
Yeah,
I
he's
love
awesome.
him.
And I don't know, the whole thing was just a lot of fun, visually fun.
Mm-hmm.
I laughed a lot during that movie, and it just kind of kept it all rolling. So to me, that's a good package.
It is also, as declared, the very best video game movie that's ever been made.
And it helped that the video game that they made about didn't have a story.
True. We can't forget about Jacob Lacey.
Yes.
The guy just murders it.
He's with the sandwiches. It's like
He's hilarious.
you could have done it without the sandwiches, but you're doing it with the sandwich, and now you've taken it to the next level.
Everybody in that movie is great. There's not anybody who blows it.
Yeah.
And everybody has an absolute fun time. I can't really argue with you because it is up and down an enjoyable film. It doesn't go the distance for me, per se. I enjoyed it. I gave it 7 out of 10. But I can't fault you for it.
No,
I really liked Rampage.
It delivers the bullshit.
It
Yeah.
delivers the bullshit, but in a non-bullshit way. It's almost like not just similar because Dwayne The Rock Johnson's in it, but it's almost Fast 70 where Paul drives away and you're like, I just watched the dumbest movie in the history of dumb movies. But man, I love these fucking guys.
Yeah.
I actually care about these characters. That scene where Henry, I think is the gorilla's name. Something like that, where he plays the death joke on Dwayne, and Dwayne is seriously heartbroken because the fucking gorilla saved his life. There's this moment in the film where you genuinely are a part of the chemistry that's happening between Dwayne The Rock Johnson and a guy wearing a bunch of glowing tennis balls on his fucking shirt.
Did we ask if Henry was a monster, bud?
We can't now. No, he's not a monster,
Okay.
bud.
Why
He doesn't
not?
fuck up Dwayne The Rock Johnson's life. He actually makes Dwayne The Rock Johnson's life better.
Yeah.
It brought him involved with the lady.
He's a monster, bro.
He's a monster, bruh. Monster, bruh. Bruh, bruh. Yeah, I like that movie.
Yeah, it's a super fun, incredible. And the thing is that at a very base level, it's incredibly stupid as well.
Right,
You just
of course.
can't. It's incredibly. Really, you're gonna do this as a movie? Okay, fucking.
Flying
Why not?
giant dog bat takes down a city and fights an alligator spike face
Sharky thing.
sharky thing. Yeah, it's as kaiju dumb shit as you can get, but blast, total blast. All right.
Also, the best American. So it's not only the best video game movie, it's also the best American version of a kaiju movie. Because those are always bad. They're all bad.
Off the top of my head,
no,
I
you
can't. I
There's
can't come
only
up
a
with
handful
anything.
of them, and they're all shit.
Yeah, they're all shit. They are all shit. We'll see what happens with King of Monsters this summer. I know you're not excited about it, but I fucking love Godzilla, man.
Yeah.
Fucking love it.
Me too. I'm excited for the new Godzilla movie.
Yeah, I think it looks cool. It's probably gonna suck. That is the year in review, guys. America 3000, Operation Pink Squad, and Rampage, the number ones. Let's move on. Wrap up this Jimma Jam with our favorite good quote unquote movies of the year 2018. Oh, actually, you know what? Let's back up. Sam, do you got anybody on your honorable mentions you want to throw a shout out to?
Films from honorable mention?
Yeah, things that didn't make your list. Got anything?
No, because Howard Duck made the list. And then I already mentioned, like, if I would have... actually, no, what was it, Robotrix?
Yeah.
If I would have remembered that I saw that, I would have probably put it in Howard the Duck's place.
Yeah, you blew that one. Jackie?
It's hard to remember some of these, the Roman ones, right?
Yeah, right.
Because Pink Squad blew it so far away, it's hard to remember.
Jackie, you got any honorable mentions?
Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny.
Oh my God, no.
What was that called?
It's called Santa Claus and the Ice Cream Bunny.
That was just fucking weird
It's awful.
and awful, and it didn't make my list, but I have thought about it from time to time.
It's truly as bad as you can make them. It's Monster Go-Go bad.
It's weird.
I hated that movie because I said this on the podcast. There's certain movies that make me sick to my stomach. Like I'm not like angry at the movie. I feel nauseous, and that's one of them. Yeah. It makes me physically ill.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Santa's
not
so
good.
lazy. He just sat there in his sleigh the entire time.
It's the worst. Anything else?
No.
We did Naked Killer this year, right?
No, that was year before.
That was okay. Yeah, because
I want to shout out to Robotrix. I also like that. I want to give Batman Forever a shout out. Honorable mention. It was surprising on the 30th time I'd seen it that we had a lot of fun with that. Firepower with Chris Lemmon and shitty Dolph Lundgren. Martial Law 1 and 2 with Cynthia Rothrock. Love her.
Well, those are, I believe, the martial laws are the ones that are of her films. Most people hold those in the highest regard.
Yeah,
of her films.
Man, she's the best. Legend, I want to give a shout out to, even though it's fucking beautiful as fuck.
Tell that last match shot.
It doesn't look as bad as you think it does on the remaster. But boy, is it fucking dumb. It is a bad movie, but God, is it the best looking movie that's ever been made. I'll give American Hunter on the outside looking in. Firehead as well was another one. And then the year of the shitty sons, Chris Lemmon, Chris Mitchum, and Chad McQueen. All newly discovered failed prodigies.
Yeah. The first Chad McQueen was fun. The second one where they couldn't find the guy that was standing behind him, that was like the best part of that with him and Gary Daniels.
Gary Daniels, who I love.
Yeah, I think that one went south on me
Warrior.
Just because they killed Gary Daniels too fast.
Yeah, it kind of made me mad when they killed Gary Daniels. Yeah. But why did you do that? But yeah, that I'm sorry, I mixed those two up. Firepower was that movie. Firehead was the one with Chris Lemmon, who sucks. Top 3 of the year. Start with Sam. Give us all 3.
Oh, all 3?
Yeah, we'll just do them individually.
Number 3 for me is a real big surprise because I didn't like it. Just how does a Spielberg movie come in under the radar? One,
right?
So I don't know about it. I hear about this fucking thing on Discord, and I'm like, oh, this is whatever. People that like video games are obviously going to like this because it's based in that. So, like, I catch wind of this through the gaming clan I'm in. Then I watch it, and I'm like, what the fuck? That's pretty good.
You were expecting stupidity?
I was expecting it to be goddamn awful.
Right.
And Ready Player One was not goddamn awful. It was pretty good.
It was pretty good.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
It pushes your happy buttons at times.
Mm-hmm.
It does all of the things that a good sort of films for children and adolescents kind of needed, like, do what The Goonies does.
Yeah.
And it it's not Goonies, but it does what the Goonies does for the viewer. It makes you feel about the same way.
Yeah, it's just a great popcorn face stuffing movie.
Yeah. And boy, howdy, did he knock the goddamn
Ball.
no, the fucking Gundam thing. Like, you're gonna do Gundam, you better not fuck it up. And Spielberg being, a master of visuals.
Right. But having a reputation of occasionally fucking it up.
Occasionally fucking it up. Crystal Skull.
Right.
Fucked it up.
Yeah, pretty bad.
No. Yeah, he did the Gundam thing fucking awesome.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Number 2 was a movie that I saw that I was like, oh, that's too bad. I thought this was going to be one of the better movies I saw this year. And then I watched the Oscar picks. So this one made it back to number 2. I was like, this is going to be a bottom, like, this will be number 10
Right.
of movies of 2016. Because it was like, maybe I expected too much from you. But ultimately, it's a, really good first effort film. It's got some rough edges. Sorry to bother you. After I watched it, I was like, oh, it's a good movie, but this is definitely not going to make my year in review.
Right.
And then I watched the Oscar picks.
Right.
Good God. So yeah, Sorry to Bother You is better than all of the movies that were nominated for Best Picture as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
I
I heard good things about it. I didn't watch it, but I heard good things.
It's good.
Yeah.
I mean, know that you're going into somebody's first movie and that it does have rough edges, but it has some really awesome stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like if it was able to maintain the steam of its awesome points all the way through, I would be like, this is Best Picture. But there's, rough edges, and it doesn't have sort of a consistent pace at some points. And I think that there's a point where the allegory he's creating is disrupted by the love story that doesn't need to be as big as it is in the movie.
I see. That's a pretty big strike for me when they do that. You don't need to focus on that so much. because it's not the plot of the movie. Yeah. Either make the love story the plot or something else.
And it's not like overwhelmingly oppressive.
It's not Bootsy Russell. Bootsy Russell was the guy that got shot.
That's Nipsey Hussle.
Oh, this is Boots Riley.
Boots Riley.
Yeah. I was like, that doesn't sound
Bootsy
right.
Russell is not even a person.
I think there is.
Is the bass player for
Sex
Parliament?
Pistols?
I don't know. Yeah, Boots Riley.
Yeah.
Not Bootsy. Anything.
So maybe we'll keep an eye out moving forward. Maybe those rough edges will get cleaned up.
Yeah, well,
subsequent work.
We'll see. I mean, and I hope he does make another movie because it seemed like, he put his heart and soul into this thing, and then when he didn't get an Oscar nomination, like he kind of flew off the handle. He got real pissed off.
Oh, I didn't hear about that.
And then he won the Independent Spirit Award. So it's like, dude, you got the thing that you deserve, so you should be happy about it. And also, that's your first fucking movie. You did a great fucking job. Calm down.
Yeah, Jesus, just do it again.
Yeah. And then, I mean, this year was awful, I think, for Best Pictures.
It
because
really
this wasn't nominated for it, and it should have won it. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse was the best movie I've seen, and it's not just that, like, I keep watching these movies for 2016, and it's like, man, 2016, what a great year.
Very great year.
There's like 30 movies from 2016 that are better than all of the Oscar nominees from this year.
Absolutely.
Like 30. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse would go toe-to-toe with any of those 2016 movies.
Dude, honestly, I keep saying, like, when you talk this much about film like we do, you end up saying the same thing a lot. That's the best movie I've seen in 10 years. But where are you getting that information? Did I actually go back and look 10 years and cross-check?
I don't have to.
No, people just say shit like that. But I then go, what if I said it's the best movie I've seen in 20 years? Would that be wrong? What if it's the best movie I've seen in 40 years? What if I'm going all the way back to fucking Citizen Kane?
Yeah.
What if?
Can
I say that? I think some people can say that. I'm not brave enough to make that claim, but if somebody says that, I kind of feel that way too. Like it's fucking as good as anything that's ever been done. Period. End of statement. It's as good as anything has ever been made.
It is visually inventive. It is just its core experience of the theater going experience. The audio and the visuals are amazing, breathtaking at certain points. But from a writing perspective, rather than hit all these different bases, what it does is it actually expresses the core of the human experience in a way that no matter if you're 8 or 80 or what, if you can understand the words that are being said, you enjoy it and you can experience it and you're a part of it because you're a human being.
Right.
Not because you have we all feel this way because it understands the core of our being.
If you can't be a hero without the suit, then you can't have the suit. That's at the end of the day, Miles is a hero with or without his superpowers. And that's every single one of us should try to be. You don't need the superpowers to be the hero. If you need the superpowers to be the hero, you don't fucking deserve the goddamn superpowers. I love Miles. I fucking love Miles. I love Miles Morales more than I love Captain America. He is the beacon of everything that we should be and strive for as humankind. He is right and moral in a fucking convenient little walnut package. Love him.
His trials are the trials that we all have.
Exactly.
We understand him. There hasn't been a movie written this well in so long. It's just ridiculous. When it's like, oh, this is the best movie I've seen, and I said 5 immediately, but I was like 10.
Funny.
Where I can go is that
the only thing I can even come close with is Silver Linings. And
I thought it was better than Silver Linings.
I think it's better than Silver Linings.
So for me, what it was is when I got out of there, I immediately thought, when's the last time, and this could be better than the movie that comes up, but I was like, when's the last time that a movie blew me away or hit me from a side that I wasn't ready for it? And it was Children of Men. I think this is probably better than Children of Men.
I think it's better than Children of Men.
But Children of Men had that same, it was like, I didn't see it coming.
Right.
It floored me.
Right.
And it's like, I had to go far back 10 years to even compare it to something, and then all of a sudden, now I'm comparing it to movies that I can fit on one hand.
Right. No, it's that good. It does deserve to be it's the best fucking comic book movie that's ever been made. B, it's the best movie that was made in 2018. C, can go on the list of best movies that's ever been made.
Yeah.
Period. Let's go with you, Jax. 3 through 1.
Number 3. Venom.
Venom!
I thought it was funny. I liked the jokes. And I thought the visual effects for when Venom would take him over were really cool. Because I don't know anything about Venom.
You didn't know anything about Venom.
But I thought it was funny that he eats bad guys.
Venom was a surprise.
I did not think I would like it.
That trailer is terrible.
Bad.
It's a bad trailer. And it undersells the fucking movie.
Oh, yeah.
Venom was not a bad movie.
I liked it.
I liked it.
Yeah, me too. But, you're right. It doesn't really get a lot of, nobody talks about it or anything. And,
No, it kind of commercially tanked.
yeah, but I really enjoyed it. I was hoping that they'd make another one, but I don't know if they are going to.
It made enough.
Will.
It made enough.
It made enough. They will. They already
Tom
set
Hardy
up
is
Carnage.
he's such a great actor.
Tom Hardy's the bomb.
Yeah.
Tom Hardy is Junior Gary Oldman. He's got a shot at being the best that's ever been.
There's the joke that's circulating in memes is that you'll be walking down the street and someone will say, cut, and it turns out you've been Gary Oldman the whole time.
Right.
I now think that you can say that, you can make the same joke with Tom Hardy at this point. Somebody's going to yell cut, and Jackie's going to be like, well, wait a second, I'm just Tom Hardy?
Wait, I was Tom Hardy this whole time? I'm Tom Hardy. He's like Spartacus. Venom, my only beef with Venom is that it takes too long for Venom. Once Venom is there, dude, Venom rules.
Yeah, they did a good job with that.
Like, that character is cool. The symbiote. When he's just Eddie Brock, I'm not a big fan of that whole beginning, the plot, and the table setting, as Sam likes to call it. But once he's Venom, dude, the bomb.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. No, I can't fault you for that. But Venom was one of the best movies of the year. I'll go with that.
And then my number 2 pick is, of course, Into the Spider-Verse.
Number 2.
Number
2.
Huh.
You better not say number 1 is Life Itself.
No.
Life Itself, it's number 1.
We both know what number 1 is.
Yes, if you don't know
I
what
guess
number
that's
1
true.
is,
Yeah, I guess that's true.
coming from me, then you haven't been paying attention.
Yeah, this isn't again, this list is our favorites, not
Yeah.
let's get into hard film critique.
Yeah.
And
But the reason that I really like the Spider-Man movie, and I kind of stayed out of your guys' nerd talk, was mostly because there was a Spider-Man for everyone. There
Right.
was a pig that was a Spider-Man for fat
Right.
people.
right.
You know, they had middle-aged spider dude that was like, look, I've got spider belly now.
Peter Parker, yeah.
Yeah. And
Glenn Danzig could identify with Nick Cage.
Right.
Yeah. So-
and Gwen, don't forget about
Gwen-
fucking Gwen.
Yeah.
She fucking rules.
the white spider girl.
Yeah.
She
Gwen
was
is
cool.
awesome. She's fucking awesome.
And she was probably the best spider person. That
she was
there.
clearly the best Spider person.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was rad.
Except for maybe Spider-Man Noir, who's pretty fucking
Spider-
awesome.
Well, I mean, most awesome, yeah, Spider-Man Noir. But if you actually go in the movie, because we have Over the Hill Spider-Man who can't be like,
Right.
he's like, I'm going to do it, I'm going to take the shot. If you had to have which one is the best action-packed Spider-Man, it's Gwen Stacy
It's Gwen
in that
Stacy.
movie. And that's
Absolutely.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is.
So that was a big thing for me. That kind of
I think that's
put
a
that-
really good way of putting that, Jax.
And then, so I'm such a fan of Queen that Bohemian Rhapsody, I mean, every time I watch that movie, it makes me cry. I just love it so much. I watched it I went to the theater 3 times to
Wow.
see it.
That's the Encino Man level shit right there.
You do realize it's not Queen. It's people pretending to be Queen.
Right, it's Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yeah, I'm familiar with the movie. I've seen it.
Right.
It's not Queen. It's people pretending to be Queen. So my beef with you about this entire thing is that you're like, I just love Queen. So I'm going to go see a bunch of people pretending to be Queen rather than just going and watching Queen.
I like the story.
It's not the story of Queen. It's pretend Queen. Yeah. Ah.
Oh, keep it to yourself, Bucky.
Yeah, that was nice.
Like
I
Bucky
loved
Barnes.
it. I thought Rami did a really, really good job.
Rami. It's Raimi.
Rami.
I'm Rami Malek.
I can't say his name. I
I
tried.
It's Rami Malek. It's not that hard.
Rami Malek. I thought he did a really, really good job
I thought he
as
put on fake teeth.
Freddie Mercury, and the guy who plays Brian. It looks just like him. So
Okay.
the character matching with the actual members of Queen, I thought was really awesome. And I don't know, there was just something about the spirit of that movie and the way that they told that story without focusing it too much on one thing or another and just trying to bring, like, not making it all about the fact that he died of AIDS, not making it all about the fact that he was a homosexual. They made it about the music.
I think that they whitewashed the shit out of that fucking movie, and I think that they steered very far away from anything that had any, like, we made a movie about a gay man and then cut all the gay shit out of it because nobody wants to see the gay shit. That's another, like, I kind of don't like Bohemian Rhapsody because I think it's a fucking bastardization of the entire fucking thing that they're trying to do.
I'm going to disagree. I
Hey,
don't think
guess
that
what?
they...
The music fucking rules.
Yeah, it does fucking rule. But I thought that they tried to approach the fact that he was a homosexual when it wasn't okay to be a homosexual. And, you know, the beginning of the AIDS epidemic where everybody was scared. And I thought that they captured that well without shoving it in your face and being like, see me.
Maybe people need to have it shoved in their face. I don't think humanity can be ever forgiven for what happened with early AIDS patients. We need to be constantly reminded. And if people have to eat some fucking humble pie on that shit, and they're like, it's too much, it's all about that. Well, fucking, that's your fucking penance for how he treated those people.
And the thing is that Freddie Mercury, he was about the music. And I really felt like that they tried to keep that in the film as much as possible and make that the centerpiece of what that film was actually about. Is about them making music as Queen.
I thought
and
that
their rise to stardom. And I thought that it was excellently done. I love it.
I thought that the one thing that they did very well was exactly the opposite of what you said. I don't think that they made that movie that it was all about Queen. I think a lot of what was stated was that there was a huge portion of Freddie Mercury that was about Freddie Mercury. And I thought that they did that well, that they handled his ego very well. He was an egotist, Jackie, the best musician that's ever lived by far. But he was a massive egotist. And I thought that they did a good job of not skirting around that they said, dude, this guy loves himself a lot. That's why he's the showman that he is. Mm. He's playing not just to you, but to himself. He's putting on a show for him.
Loves himself almost as much as Liberace.
Yeah.
Liberace loved him some Liberace.
And either way, I mean, I bought the my mom actually gave me the Blu-ray for my birthday, and I've watched it 6 times already.
Yeah, you love the shit out of it.
Yeah.
You're not alone. You are not alone.
You're not alone. Yeah, I had a couple people say it was I actually had a guy tell me that doesn't even like Queen all that much, that he thought it was the best movie he's seen in 5 years. I was like, huh. All right, okay.
That was bold. I mean, best movie this year? Yeah, I mean, it's a fucking weak year, but I don't know about that. My number three, we haven't talked about. Fucking Natalie Portman in Annihilation.
Annihilation, I didn't watch that. Yet.
It's not that it's fucking anything to write home about story-wise, but it is one of the most imaginative visual movies I've ever seen in my life. It is fucking stunning to look at. And not just from like a, wow, dude, you computer guys did a really good job on that. It's neat. Yeah. It's like doing a bunch of drugs and watching fucking 2001 like, whoa, mind fucking blown, but I did it sober because that's what I am when I'm 40. I thought I did enjoy the story, don't get me wrong, in the statements that the film was trying to make. But that's not what you come for in Annihilation. And I thought that it was arguably one of the most beautiful movies that the CGI guys have ever done. And what's his nut that's directed it?
Garland.
It was all his vision was all that apparently. So, check out Annihilation, dude. I thought it was awesome.
The previous film was very good looking as well. Mm-hmm. I'm hoping that he gets one that he knocks out of the park, because that's all he's missing. Like, the visuals are there. Let's get one of these. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
We'll see. Yeah, he needs the Guillermo del Toro script, basically. All those scripts are heading to Guillermo. This guy needs
he writes his own stuff.
Script. Yeah, okay, maybe he needs somebody to help him out.
Maybe, I don't know. That thing is maybe he's got one in him. I hope he does.
Yeah, I hope so too, because Annihilation was fucking, I loved it. Number 2, Ready Player One. The thing that you didn't say about Ready Player One is the climax of the film is probably the most taxing labor on a set of computers that I have ever seen in film. I mean, the process to render that entire sequence with all of the fucking models.
Yeah, it's impressive.
It's fucking impressive, not only from a filmmaking standpoint, but from a technology standpoint. That's impressive to me. It's interesting that the 3 movies on my list are all essentially animated movies. That I'm signing up for and praising. But yeah, there's also, when you say the didn't fuck it up thing, the licensing that was fucking involved with that movie.
My God.
Like the one time that we don't praise Men in Ties, we usually throw them under the bus. Men in Ties did a really great job of signing contracts.
Yeah. I think there's also a point that, like, the licensing happening doesn't happen if it's not Spielberg. The only guy that anyone will go, sure, is Spielberg.
Right.
And so because of him, people just signed the papers.
Dude, we have a lot of money riding on this particular thing that you're trying to buy.
Yeah.
It's sensitive material, as it were. You can fuck this up if you do it wrong. Well, Steven Spielberg's doing it. Here, where do I sign?
Oh, really?
No, it's just it's not just that these guys, the labor involved in sending a team of lawyers all across the fucking world to get all the licenses for this shit it's an achievement. I probably say that. I overuse that, but like, nice job.
Yeah.
Dude, seriously, business guys. Well done.
One of the things that's really interesting about him getting that done is that he did that intentionally because he didn't want to blow himself.
Mm-hmm.
Because the book actually has him as one of its chief reference points. And he's like, well, I don't want to make a movie about how awesome I am. That would make me a huge dickhead.
I just want to make an awesome movie.
And so before this, I'm always kind of like, I've been on the I'm actually, this has kind of put me a little different place, like knowing about how he made it. And this whole movie kind of makes me like Spielberg a little bit more than I liked before.
Right, dude, here's the thing. Spielberg has hit it out of the park for me 2 times in a row. The Post is fucking amazing. When was the last time he hit 2 in a row?
What did he do before Lincoln?
The Bridge of Spies, which wasn't bad.
Yeah, I didn't see that.
I didn't say it hit it out of the park by any means.
The last time he fucked it up was Crystal Skull.
Yeah, I'm not saying fuck, but he hit it out of the park for me 2 movies in a row.
That's pretty good.
He probably hasn't done that since the 70s.
Yeah, I don't remember what he did. Well, so the thing is like, what did he do on either side of Schindler's List and Private Ryan?
Right. Yeah. Man, no, maybe his star is rising in his old age.
Yeah, well, where it's just that, you know what, he's pretty good at it.
It seems like he's a good director.
We start naming all these movies. It's like, yeah, that guy might be pretty good at this.
He appears to be able to shoot a movie. Yeah, Ready Player One. Wow. And then number 1, obviously, Spider-Verse. I've said everything that I can possibly say about that, except for one thing. It's impossible. That's it's not just that it's so good. You again put it down on paper, what it is, and hand it to me, and I say, that's never gonna work, guys. Yeah. That is never gonna work. People, the comic book fanboy dork shit are going to these fucking Avengers movies. Who's fucking Miles? Somebody else is not Spider-Man. It's not Peter Parker.
Yeah.
I go back to the fucking clone business of the late 90s in the Spider-Man thing that people fucking wanted to burn Marvel to the fucking, they wanted to invade the building and like pitchforks were out because fucking Peter Parker wasn't Spider-Man. So you come to me and say, we're going to make a Spider-Man. Sony is going to make a Spider-Man movie that isn't linked to the Avengers in any way, shape, or form. It's not linked to the current Spider-Man that's on the Avengers movie in any way, shape, or form. It also has time travel, interdimensionality, and a bunch of Spider-Mans.
One of them is a cartoon pig, another one is an anime that mech with a girl inside of it.
Guys, I appreciate the ambition and the imagination. It's probably going to be fun, cute movie, kids movie, you know. But that's not going to work. And somehow it fucking is amazing beyond its impossibility. That never happens.
Its impossibility goes farther than that because usually when you write a script, like if you're trying to sell a screenplay now, you want to leave out as much direction as possible. Mm-hmm. People want to make those decisions later.
Right.
When you come up with something like this, the writing has to have a lot of planning in it, and so there's a script and a screenplay package that kind of came with this all together. Everyone after that stuck to the plan.
Right. That's the other thing.
The thing is that it is a superior plan, but it actually got stuck to, and it's like, Sony? You're the guys that actually stuck to the plan?
Wait, that's Sony? There's not like a secret Sony that made this movie? It's Sony that made this?
Sony stuck to the plan.
How about that? It's impossible. It shouldn't exist, and it does. And that's, like, again, maybe, guys, we start talking about this being one of the greatest movies of all time. And not just my favorite. Seriously, it's impossible. It shouldn't exist. And anytime you have a film where you go into a movie and they're like, you come out of it going, I didn't know that they could make movies like that.
Yeah.
That's called a game changer, folks.
Yeah.
Patton Oswalt, I'll quote him. He says it's the best movie he's ever seen in his life.
When we walked out, we're all silent until we get all the way outside, and the only thing I could say was, you can't do any better.
You cannot. You're like, because you just saw something that's that good, and you're like, am I sure that I interpreted that right? Am I sure that there wasn't any problems with it? That I I'm not just blowing it. No, you're not. It's that good, guys.
Yeah.
And that's the end, said Janet Jackson in one of her songs. Weird.
Did she?
Yeah. That's the end. Next up is my pick. It is going to be Bubba Motherfucking Hotep.
All right.
Starring Bruce Campbell and Ozzie Davis. That Ozzie Davis. Currently streaming on Amazon Prime. So make sure to watch Bubba Hotep if you haven't. And we will get to that. Thanks for listening, guys, to another year of us doing this, whatever thing that we are doing. And continuing to support us. And don't hesitate to write us your year in review. We want to know.
We do.
Please, because there may be shit on there that we want to watch. So make sure you get that to us. Talk@stinkermadness.com is the email address. You can also hit us up on Facebook, facebook.com/stinkermadness. And the same with Twitsters.
Twitsters. Those are the people that work behind the counter every place I shop.
Twitster. You want your receipt, sir? You twitster. So check out Bubba Hotep. Thanks for listening. Get to the chopper.
Visit us at www.stinkermadness.com. Follow Stinker Madness on Twitter @Stinker Madness. Please rate and review us on iTunes and Stitcher. Thank you for listening, and get to the chopper.